Easy Sports Talk Show with Ed Smith and Javon Adams. My name is Javon Adams. You can call me Jay or Jay Love. That man besides me not only played professional baseball, but he also played in the National Football League for that first Super Bowl bound team for the Atlanta Falcons. I'm talking about a motivational speaker, author, my brother Ed Smith. What is good, my brother?
Hey, man, a lot of stuff going on over the summer for us, but we get back here to get it in a little bit and see what we do, how we do it.
Indeed. So we do this thing 3 times a week. What day does 4th of July fall on?
Thursday, I think, right?
Thursday? Okay. Yeah. So Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we knocked this thing out. Friday, we had to figure that out because, my grind has adjusted. But, so make sure you tell a friend about what we got going on. We got a good show for you. We are happy to be back. So, first things first, how's the back doing, my brother?
I'm hanging in there, man. I had that surgery. It'll be 2 weeks tomorrow. It seems like it's been a whole lot longer than that, but, get my steps in each day. God bless me to get through the surgery itself, and, a lot of folks who haven't had surgery before, they think you have it and all of a sudden you feel better, right away, where in reality they go in there and they do not damage, but they do a lot of stuff to the body that's not supposed to be done to correct the things that are going wrong. Yeah. So it's like taking a few steps back before you can actually take any forward. So I'm in that stage right now where every step is a blessing, man, and they're not unpainful steps. I got a lot of stuff I'm dealing with, but hopefully heading in the right direction. I said the biggest thing is the good Lord got me through that surgery.
Amen.
With the help, I should say, with the help of my family, and you are my family. So, and then friends as well. A lot of people checking in on me, making sure I'm doing the right things, and just putting their hands on me, man. So
that's what we do.
I appreciate it, Jay.
That's what it's supposed to be. It's all good, man. So we got a lot of stuff is since our little mini vacation, but I want to get to the what's going on currently, which is NBA free agency. That's the hot thing, and I wanted to get your thoughts real quick on the All-Star, a couple of All-Star game activities, I suppose, and why one seems to be more lauded than the other, but. NBA free agency started in earnest, as they say, on Sunday, and there's been a lot of movement. And I wanted to, so far, what's your biggest move been? One of the things that's been interesting to me, and I'm not mad at anybody getting their money. So let me say that first of all. I'm going to talk from there's the get your money side of Jay, and then there's the if I was wearing the GM hat, what I like to think that I would do, which I probably wouldn't do because it would get me fired, right? But there's a lot of mid dudes getting paid. Getting paid. They were born at the right time, folks that are getting paid, $90 million for averaging 8 points a game. It's wild. But one of the interesting things to me is the Paul George going to the 76ers. I don't know. Everything depends upon time and place. And so there are different factors that come into it. When you're in Philadelphia, that's a market almost like New York is when it comes to the Yankees. When you're in the Philadelphia market, regardless of what team you're playing, regardless of what sport you're playing, there's a different level of patience, of focus, of mindset that you have to have because they are passionate. They are aggressive. They wear their emotions on their sleeve, but that's one that's interesting to me that could really make the East a lot more interesting in this upcoming season.
Yeah, and I think you buried the biggest news of all. Bronny Jr. He got drafted in the second round by the Lakers. We won't let that slide. That's the biggest news of all.
Yeah.
But as far as the free agency, man, you are right. We got, and it's everything we do, sports. I'm sure there are doctors that have been doing it for 30 years, wish they were born now. Rappers, you name it, whatever industry.
True.
It's all reciprocal. We're now living in a world where you can be a dude coming off the bench, scoring 6 points, maybe getting a few extra rebounds, and you're going to get you $7, $8, $9, $10 million a year, bruh. That used to be money for starters and stars. Man. Now the backups are getting paid like money that's going to take care of the families the rest of life. And I said, no, we got nothing against it,
Yeah.
But, with a Paul George, the thing that shocks me is they talk about it's like PG-13, man. It's playoff George, playoff Paul. And And quite honestly, he's a very good regular season dude, but he disappears in the postseason to me. And I thought that would be the biggest reason somebody would be so valuable, not for what they do. And you can't even count on him in the regular season for the most part, especially at this point in time where he's one of those low management dudes by default, because he's going to get that twisted ankle. He's going to get something that hurts him. Not going to get that full 82 in. You just cross your fingers and hold your breath. There's not anything serious. But he's a dude that I don't think you can hitch your wagon to him, but he's getting paid like a dude that actually pulls the wagon. Where I don't know where we are in, I guess, today's finances and game, where he's looked at as the missing piece. Well, I mean, if you got a screw loose or something like that, that's cool if that's the missing piece to keep it all together. But as far as like that being the biggest part of the engine, and he's gonna make you rev and roar, I don't see that from Paul. But he has that. He's getting that. He's getting paid like
he's getting that money. He's getting that money.
Yeah.
I think I was one that was a little bit harsher, and I think it was warranted in the beginning, especially with some of those when he called himself playoff P, but then would come up short oftentimes. I mean, he hasn't won a championship, but I think he has made up for some of those shortcomings. But one of the things is that he along with when he was playing with the Clippers, Kawhi and Paul George, they would tend to get injured. I do think Paul George operates better when he believes he's a number one as opposed to trying to fit in to be a number two or number three. And so that's what's going to be interesting with Philadelphia. But it's also going to be something to keep an eye on is Embiid gets injured every season.
Every season.
Paul George gets tweaked every season. So when you have this, but the last year, from what I heard something today, the last year of this contract that he just signed to go to the to go to the 76ers, he'll be 38 years old, and God bless you for getting that money, getting all that, but he'll be making $51 million in that year. And a lot of these teams, and this is kind of what I'm getting at when saying the other side of my brain, so to speak, as a GM, you have what they call the first apron and second apron and all these things. All that really what it means is when you get to that second apron and blow past that, it really restricts you on the type of players you can sign and how you can improve your team based upon some of the signings that you've made previously, when typically you're going to be really top heavy. And so that prevents you from making moves, and insert the Lakers here, insert the Suns here, when the Lakers can make a couple more moves than the Suns, but then you have a lot of those restrictions, which is why the Clippers ended up kind of saying bye to Paul George, because they're past that second apron. But it's wild if you are an athlete, if I'm Javon and I'm happen to be tall enough to be a point guard, and somebody comes to me and says, yeah, we know that you want $20 million, but why don't you sacrifice and get down to $12 million? I'm not sacrificing nothing, because when I'm done playing, I want to win a championship. I get being competitive, and I really want your thoughts on this. And this is kind of in a way why I brought this topic up. When you're playing, when I'm in playing park and rec, if I was playing a pickup game of basketball, I wanted to win. But if I was going to get paid and had a chance to win, I want to do both, but I need to get this money, man, because the lifespan of an athlete is short, and depending on the type of sport you play, it's really, really short.
Well, there's two types of athletes out there, Jay. There's the athletes that it's all about winning titles. And then there's other athletes, and, it's all relevant. There are guys that are out there wanting to take care of their families with this, they call it generational wealth. Yeah. How you can have signed some of these contracts and not have generational wealth already, I don't understand. But when you get into this stage, like for Paul George, and, 4 years, $204 million or whatever it is, I'm not exactly sure. It's like, how much more do you need? But at the same time, I mean, these dudes want to stack their paper. And also, Jay, a lot of it is about the prestige of, look what I just signed. A lot of these guys are, like right now, there's some dudes that could go play for the veteran minimum and almost guarantee they could win for a contract. Them dudes ain't worrying about no veteran minimum to go win. I mean, they're worried about their pockets, what it looks like to others, and also stacking paper for themselves. The championship, they hope it comes, but in the end, Jay, if you put truth serum in the water, most guys will say, I would love to eventually win a championship, but my money is more important to me in the long run.
Money ain't going to keep the lights on, man.
It's not. I mean,
the championship ain't gonna keep the lights.
Yeah, it's not gonna keep the lights on. So for me, and here's the thing for the Sixers, I'm not calling Paul the devil, but you're basically selling your soul to the devil he's got 4-year deal. By the time you get to the end of that 4-year deal, you sitting in a room trying to figure out how we can make this good for both of us, Joe Paul, because we can't pay you 50 some odd million on the back end of this, whether it's a buyout or whatever it is, But their window of winning a championship is basically 2 years. And the bad part about that, Jay, is you just mentioned both Embiid and Paul are injury prone. And you can't build that into your plan because you never know when it's going to come. Yeah. So, I mean, it's a roll of the dice, and there's no guarantees. And when you get to the end of this, they'll be trying to figure out the next big move. James Harden, how many teams have bet on we're going to try to get the best out of him because he's that piece. If we just figure out the Rubik's Cube, we can get it done. And it has not happened to this point.
But here's the thing. James Harden is in the right place at the right time. You know why? Because the Clippers are going into a new building, and they got Kawhi, and you can't start to rebuild and try to go into a new building and people want to pay those exorbitant prices. So that they had no choice. So they let Paul George go. They had no choice. And Harden's over there saying, yeah, I'll sign that money. I'll sign my name on the dotted line for that money, man.
He's sitting over there, hey, I'm right here.
Okay. So let me ask this. So Easy Sports Talk Show with Ed Smith and Javon Adams. So here, I got a question here though. So let's say you're Ed Smith and you're in the National Football League, and we've talked about it. You mentioned it, like you were just trying to hold on. How long can I hold on? Let's say you were a mid to upper tier player, and the money was equal for both. Let's say the money was for an organization that is lackluster, to say the least. They were going to pay you more. And then there was an organization that was maybe you could get take 3 or 4, let's say maybe $6-7 million less a year, but it was a well-run organization. What do you choose? And the reason, as you think about where you would go, is because Cade Cunningham with the Detroit Pistons, that man signed a 5-year, $200-something million extension. I don't think he cares about winning because he's playing ever since he came in the league, he's been losing. And I think it's just about money. But I would think that even if you're making all the money in the world, if every time you go into your job, the job sucks, it has to take away some of that value away. But I'm curious on what your answer would be with that question, though.
Well, every athlete is in a different state, a different part of their career. And, so what are you playing for, as you mentioned? At this point, Cade, he's playing for that money, dog. He knows if you go back there's a couple factors. One, you go back to Detroit, you can be the man because they stink. You can do whatever you want to do. I mean, you want to throw up 30, 40 shots in the game? Hey, we paid you all this money. You better throw up 35, 40, 50 shots a game. We paid you all this money. Yeah. So, on the flip side, this is not a rebuild. This is the equivalent of minor league. Let's talk about baseball. Sometimes some of these teams, when they strip it down, it's a AAA team playing in the big leagues. So this is a G League team playing in the big leagues. You just fired a head coach who actually could have probably done some good there, but you're tanking. It's going to be bad. And for an athlete to say anything other than I'm playing for the money in that situation, you ain't playing for no championships. You're not playing because you think we can get better in the next 5 years. You're not playing because it's a great city and the tradition of the trade has not been good since the Bad Boys in the early 90s. Let's talk about consistently. So we know why you re-signed there. And I mean, sometimes, bro, it is what it is. This team was going to pay you this much. This better organization was going to pay you this much. But, you take a few less dollars to go over there and win. Nah. I'm going over to get my money. I'm going to get my money, and that's all there is to it. Yeah. And it's sad, but I mean, every roster has to be filled. Everybody's got to, there's these salary caps, and everybody's got to spend it. Detroit, just because you stink, you still got to spend that money, and they're throwing it around because it's hard. It's a hard sell, bro.
Man,
hey, look at the direction we're going. We just finished with the worst record in the league, and we just fired the head coach. But you can look and see what we're doing. we're building over here. I don't think so.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So he's Ed Smith. I'm Javon Adams. So again, leave me with this. We jumping in and out today. So there's oftentimes when the All-Star game comes around, when it's basketball, people are always really down on the slam dunk competition. They're so down on it. It's the same dunks over and over again. This is terrible. This is terrible. Compared to the Major League Baseball All-Star game, where they just say, wow, look at that majestic home run, one after the other, 400 yards, 400 feet, another 300 feet, 325 feet. Look at it again. Wow. It seems to be so hypocritical. Those people that criticize the dunk contest as opposed to the home run derby. They're both. I tune out on both of them. They're both great feats of athleticism. One, of course, when you're hitting the ball, takes strength and great hand-eye coordination. You dunking the basketball, I don't care if you dunking it from the free throw line or if you trying to go from behind the backboard and do whatever you doing. If you blowing a candle out when it's sitting on top of the rim, that is a great feat of athleticism. I don't know why we got to make it seem like these dudes ain't doing nothing special when we say that they're doing something special with the home run derby. What say you?
How many different ways could you hit a home run, Jay? You stand in the box. Everybody stands in the same box.
Yes.
They're hitting the same ball.
Yes.
And they got the same distances to clear. The only thing that's changed over the years, and some of it has been pharmaceutically enhanced, and some of it, with this equipment and different things and the balls and flying out of these stadiums. The only thing that's changed is the distances. We got the trackers now where dude hits it, and we got the little green thing that fouls the ball out. That was a 495-foot home run. You know what that counts for? The same as that 311-foot home run that went right over the left field, inside the left field foul pole. Yeah. So the same thing goes for dunks, Jay. At this point in time, what dunk haven't we seen? We've seen dudes put capes on. We've seen them jump from a free throw line. We've seen them jump out of cars, over friends, under friends. And at this point in time, there is not a dunk we haven't seen. And then they keep messing with the format. Before, years and years ago, if you missed the dunk, that was it. Now you got 60 seconds. If you missed the first one, you don't like that one, go do another one. And so to me, they're both antiquated. Both should be outlawed at this point. Well, let's make for the home run hitting contest, let's make dudes go up there and swing it with their opposite hand. So if you're Shohei Ohtani, go up there, you got to hit home runs right-handed, maybe move the fence in a little bit, something like that. For the dunks, bruh, I don't know what you do. I mean, I've seen every type of dunk there is, and here's what hurts the dunk contest, too. You don't have the best dunkers out there doing it. Since the mid-'90s, when with Jordan and them, Jordan used to get how many dunk contests has LeBron James ever been in?
Zero.
I mean, zero, because he didn't want to mess with his image, that type of thing. So we're not even getting the best dunkers out there. We're getting dudes, and I'm like, who that? I mean, it's like, so at this point in time, I know they don't like to let certain things go because of tradition, but both of those, and I've been in home run hitting contests, bro. You talking about that's just endurance after a while.
Okay, so before we head out of here, so I never knew that. You got to tell me the story sometime. But you hear the stories about if those who are participating in the home run derby that it messes with their swing down the road. Did you find that the case with you?
Absolutely, and that's what even doing batting practice, sometimes you go up there, bro, and the ball just jumping off your bat, and a good hitting coach will tell you, look, calm that down. I want you to just go the other way a couple times, because you start getting in love with that. All of a sudden, bat practice, you just launch it, but you don't realize that swing is long because you're swinging against bat practice BP fastballs. Yeah. All of a sudden, you get in the game and you're getting that same kind of launch, and your swing is long and just off a little bit. What if he's tearing you up inside? You throws all your mechanics off. Man. And it's something that, homer hitting contest, the hitting coaches used to hate that. They did not want their best guys playing in those, because it gets you into, because literally all you're worried about is launching. And it puts you into a bad repetitious mode. And then you see these guys after the All-Star game, it inevitably takes them a few weeks to get back into their natural normal swing. So I've been in those, and they're not good for hitters at all.
Gotcha. Well, I appreciate you, my brother. We do this again 3 times a week. Make sure you go to easysportstalk.com, easysportstalk.com. You can also go and we would appreciate it if you go to our YouTube page as well, YouTube channel, The Easy Sports Talk Show, The Easy Sports Talk Show. Tell a friend and tell a friend about what we got going on. And as we always like to say around this time,